What's up, my brothers and sisters and buddies and pals? Welcome back to another ramble. Hopefully it won't be like as rambly as past ones, because I'm a very rambly person, and this is what happens is my brain stops working for a second and then I lose all my words. So hopefully with time that'll get better. But today, what are we talking about today? We're gonna be talking about death. Ooh. Sorry, I gotta answer a text. We'll be talking about death today. So yeah, we're talking about death today. Death, dying, afterlife. What do we all believe? Specifically, I'll be talking about oh my god, people, stop texting me. Guys, I'm so popular. What am I saying? What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay. Let's just get the fuck into it. Oh, I have to look at the comments. Sorry I didn't reply to anyone's comments. I just kind of went MIA for the week. Brain has been scattered. But let's see. What do we got? 6 days ago from Indrek. Hey, buddy. Oh, yay. Good. I'm glad I'm saying your name correctly. And I'm right about Estonia. Fuck yeah. And I do like Mac DeMarco. I think I discovered Mac DeMarco, I think, in, like, middle school. No, not middle school. Like, freshman year of high school, I think. When, like... And that was 2016, I think. And it was just, like, that was just all the rage, you know? Like, I was listening to, like, a lot of Twin Peaks, lots of Mac DeMarco, just, like, Swimmers, and just, like, a lot of, like, those kind of indie rock bands. I don't know. There was one called Walter Mitty and the... I can't remember what it's called. Walter Mitty and his makeshift orchestra. Yes! The album Overwhelmed and Underdressed. I used to listen to that constantly. But yeah, to answer your question, Indrek, I do like Mac DeMarco. Wow. And thank you for trying to be consistent watching my videos. It's very kind. What else we got? Shrimp sauce. What's up, buddy? Let's go more rambles. Yeah, consistency is constantly painted in that, like, no matter what tone, and that's just not healthy. So hopefully my last ramble about consistency kind of helped put some people's mind to ease a bit because it's just not right. That's just the start of, you know, a downhill tumble. I'm so glad you liked my car seat headrest story. They're going on tour again, so maybe you'll catch the drumstick next time. And yeah. What else? Kick in PJs. Nope. Kid in PJs. Says, I love Yap channels. Shout out to you, dog. Thank you. Thanks. Hope you stick around. Yeah. Cody at the corner. Another banger video. Keep it up. I have a question. Oh, question. Do you believe in aliens? Yeah. How could you not believe in aliens? Like, I just can't subscribe to the belief that, like, we are the only, like, intelligent life out there. Like, outer space is fucking huge and ever expanding. Whoa. Why can't I speak today? Outer space is fucking huge and ever expanding, and there's so many planetary bodies that we know absolutely nothing about. And to believe that we are the only planet that can hold life, just in general, is just kind of ignorant, I think. And also, like, the word alien is such, like, a... I think everyone has a different thought when they hear the word alien, you know? When they think about aliens, I mean, the majority of people probably think about, like, the fucking little green guy with a weird, like, shaped head and, like, big eyes and, like, coming down in a UFO, but who knows? But, like, an alien can be, like, a different, like, microscopic fucking, I don't even know, like a bacteria. That's an alien to us. If it's only found on another planet, it's completely different from anything we have on Earth that we know of. That, technically, little microorganisms on different planets are technically aliens. So how can you not believe that there is a possibility that there are, like, microorganisms? Like, that is technically an alien, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts on aliens. And I think that kind of can help us segue into beliefs and faith and all that comes along with it. Woo! Yeah. So today, as I said, we're talking about death. If you don't like conversations surrounding death, like, I'm not talking about, like, this is how people die. I don't fucking know. I don't know. But if you just don't like these conversations just because it's like, death is a scary topic. It's scary because it's the great unknown, you know? So it's so valid if you don't want to watch this. So yeah, let's just get on into it. The reason that I wanted to talk about this today was because I was, for some reason, I've been, like, the things that I'm seeing online are, like, kind of really correlating well with, like, conversations I'm having with people in the real world. So it's just, like, I was like, oh, that's weird. These two things that I saw within, or heard within a day, I don't fucking know. But I saw TikTok about something about, like, realizing I was gonna die. I remember when I was 10 years old and realizing that I'm gonna die someday. 10 years old? It took you 10 years to realize you were gonna die someday? And that the people around you are gonna die? Huh. Baby, I was fucking 4 years old. Every single night, I'd be lying awake in bed thinking about, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna go to hell, or I'm gonna go to heaven, or wherever I go, I'm gonna be stuck there forever. For eternity. Eternal life. In death. That's a scarier thought than just death itself. Personally, I believe that that's a scarier thought than death itself. Because it's like, so this was my thoughts on, this is how I envisioned the afterlife as a child who grew up Catholic. We weren't like, I mean, I was gonna say that we weren't like super Catholic, but we were to a certain extent. Like, for the beginning half of my childhood, we were going to church every Sunday, like, especially like Easter, Christmas Eve Mass. My mom, so at church, my mom and like this group of, and my aunt and this group of like ladies would all play guitar and sing the hymns. And it was like kind of fire. Like, it was fire. Like, they low-key shredded. And like, this is a Catholic church. Like, and I don't know, my perception on Catholic churches versus Christian churches, like, I think in other types of Christian churches, that's more of a thing. Like, the, you know, you got that the one guy with the guitar singing, and everyone's like, oh my god, he's so cool, and like, this is so awesome. And like, I mean, I knew people that, this was later on in high school, like, there were people that went to like this like weird mega church, and like in the middle of the state, like, and like, I don't know, they had like these huge concerts. It was weird. Catholicism is not typically like that, I don't think. It's very traditional. But these ladies would be shredded on guitar, and specifically on the Christmas Eve Mass. Oh my god, that shit was magical. My sister and I would sometimes sing with them, and it would be like Silent Night, Oh Holy Night, fucking, we'd always close out the Mass with Joy to the World. But, yeah. How did I get to talk about this? Oh, we weren't super Catholic, I guess, but we were regularly involved in the church. My mom was my CCD teacher for, I don't know, until like I got my what's it called? Until I got my first communion. Or maybe she did it for one more year after that. And then we kind of started phasing out of going to church. But even when we weren't going to church, we were saying grace before dinner, we still had this crucifix. Okay, we used to have this crucifix in our dining room. That, typical crucifix, wooden cross, Jesus. And I think the story about this crucifix goes that my mom got it from our old neighbor, and when she got it, she was like, it's not, like, gory enough. Like, it's not bloody enough. So my mom painted blood on his hands, like, where the nails were, and on his feet, and, like, down his head, and, like, on his scar, like... So we had this bloody Jesus pinned to the fucking cross on the wall of our dining room. And, like, people would come over. Like, I just remember, like, friends coming over and, like, being like, oh, like, that, what? And having to be like, oh, yeah, like, that's just, like, our that's, like, doesn't everyone have, like, a bloody Jesus on their wall? You know? But apparently not. And I just remember, like, so much of my childhood, because my seat at the table faced kind of towards the wall that it was at, so I would be sitting at the dinner table. My parents are fighting back and forth. And I would just be staring at the bloody Jesus on the wall. Like, so that gives you a nice little overview of my Catholicism journey. I don't really subscribe to any religion. Definitely not Catholicism, but also, I don't know. Like, who am I to say what is true and what is not? And I think that's what gives me comfort, is the unknown. And before, the unknown used to scare the living fuck out of me. And... I'm only 22. Like, I know it's going to scare me in the coming years, Like, this isn't the end of my journey at all with my relationship to the unknown and to death and whatnot. But... as of right now, I'm finding not knowing very comforting, because that's just the human experience. None of us know. But we take comfort in our personal religions, which is great and very helpful, and I'm glad that it comforts you, but it didn't comfort me. It actually made me more scared and made me fear something that is inevitable, and I don't know, it just put a lot of thoughts in my brain. So, as I said before, as a child, like, my image of heaven and hell, I think it's kind of the typical image that, kids have, which is, to me, heaven was this, like, weird, like you're in the sky. It's all like everything's made out of clouds. It's bright all the time. It's pretty. It's there's these big old gates, and someone sits at the gate and is like, "Do you belong here?" And if you don't, they kick you out and down to hell. But when I would think about heaven, I'd be like, okay, like what will it be like? Like, if I were to die today and go to heaven, what do I think is going to be there? Like, if I'm going to be spending eternity somewhere, like, that's a long time. You can't even quantify eternity. And that's what freaked me out so much, was like, I'm gonna be stuck in this place for eternity. Like, what am I supposed to do for the rest of forever? And like, then it would get me thinking about like time, like what even is time? And I would be having these thoughts as a child that were just way too abstract for my little like 4 or 5-year-old brain, that I would just be having panic attacks at night, and I'd run downstairs sobbing to my mom, and she'd be like, put that in the too big pile, like, we're not thinking about that right now, like, you're not gonna die anytime soon, like, it's okay. But then that even freaked me out even more, because I was like, my too big pile is like all these things are too big, and like my pile seems so big, and it's just I just wanted all the answers, because I think that's what people turn to religion for, answers. But I think at a really young age, I don't know. Sorry, I'm having thoughts in my head. I think, what am I saying? I don't know. People turn to religion for comfort and for, a belief system and answers, specifically for answers. But the answers I got did not satisfy me, and they scared me more than it satisfied me. Because I feel like that's kind of the whole thing about Catholicism and Christianity, but we won't get into that, because that's a whole other conversation that I'm not qualified for. But yeah, I wasn't comforted by the answers. It felt very restricting. You either go here or there. And also, before you go to either of those places, you're stuck in purgatory. And you can be stuck in purgatory for however long. And then it's like, okay, well, where is purgatory? What is purgatory? That scared the fuck out of me. They're judging you, like God is judging you while you're in purgatory and seeing, okay, this was your life. Where do you fit now? You gonna go to heaven or you gonna go to hell? And back to my image of each of these places. My image of hell, it still scares me. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm getting, like, emotional. But my image of hell is still so terrifying. Like, I again, remember being a small child. Oh my god, I need to stop. But I remember being a small child and thinking about hell and imagining myself there forever. And it was really scary. And it's, you know, I was just thinking of, like, the most horrifying things that you could think of. And as I got older, these thoughts just got darker and darker. And these images got darker and darker because I learned more about the evil that is the world and that is evilness, you know? So I was picturing this dark, fiery, hot place where everyone's just on fire and there's these demons that are just torturing people in the worst ways possible. And, like, thinking that there are souls of human beings that were damned to hell forever. That's such a long time. That's so long, and that's so evil. That doesn't feel okay. Like, as I got older, I started questioning, like, why would a just God send anyone there? Send any soul there forever, for eternity. I understand the idea of it, and I understand why sinful or evil, like truly deeply evil actions should be punished. But I don't know, man. That seems like a very scary punishment. And thinking about, and like, again, I was a child having these thoughts. And so I would think, oh my god, I lied to my mom. I'm gonna go to hell. Like, but that's not gonna send me to hell. That's not gonna send you to hell. It's not gonna send me to hell. Like, you're okay. Sorry, I had to burp. But I don't know, like, there are truly evil actions that will send you to hell. You know, if we're gonna go with the whole heaven or hell idea, good or bad afterlife, you know, if you're gay, you're not going to hell. That's literally, you are fine. I'm gay. I'm not going to hell. 'Cause I know deep down I'm a good person. Or at least I'm striving to be a good person. So I feel very comfortable that I will have an okay afterlife. Whatever that may entail. I'm no longer scared that I'm going to go to hell. I'm not even quite sure I believe in hell anymore. Again, as I got older, I started to realize that maybe this is hell. Like, life is hell. Maybe, I don't know. Because, I don't know, this is something that I think that, like, it's kind of a Christian idea, I think, is that, like, Earth is the place, like, life and Earth is the place where the devil can reach you the easiest, you know? So, what if Earth and life, I guess, is hell, and we all get salvation, and we all go to somewhere wonderful when we leave this mortal plane, you know? Like, what if there is no bad place? What if it's just a place, or just an abstractness that we just fucking dissolve into, you know? I find a lot more comfort in the idea that, or I guess I just find more comfort in the abstractness than in, this is what heaven is, and yada yada yada, you'll get to see your loved ones, like, blah blah blah. That was a big thing, was like, you'll get to see your family, and like, what the fuck? You'll get to see your family, and you'll get to see your loved ones, and you'll meet God, and like, whatever. Which is great. But I was like, damn, like, it must be crowded up there. You know? And it's like, am I gonna be... So, one, it's crowded. Two, is it like... I don't know, am I gonna be surrounded by all the people I knew? Like, is it gonna feel like I'm in, like, high school again? Or, like, am I gonna... Do we have seats? Like, do we just sit up there like it's like a coliseum and we just look down on Earth? Like, the idea... That's another thing. The idea of being watched... Brother. That shit scared the fuck out of me. That was also why I was so terrified as a child. Was like, God is watching me always. And he knows exactly when I sin. And he sees it. And he is watching me all the time. And he knows all of my sins. He knows what's going through my head. And then I'd be like, in my head, like, I'm so sorry, God. I'm so sorry, God. And then I'd start thinking all these bad thoughts. And then I'd be like, I don't know why I'm having these thoughts. Like, I swear I don't believe in these thoughts. I don't know why they're in my head. And it would just spiral. The thought spiral is real. And it gets scary sometimes. And yeah, I think the idea that, like, someone or something could just watch me and was watching me was scary, and still is scary. Like, fuck, I don't know if I should say this on the internet. I don't think I'll say this story on the internet, but no, I won't say it. Where am I going? Oh my god, I haven't fully explained. Okay, so, heaven. Are we in a coliseum? Like, are we just watching everything on Earth? Like, is it, like, I also always, like, I never met my Grammy, my mom's mom, and she was a very godly person. Like, I truly, like, from what I've heard about her and her experiences, I truly believe she is a saint of sorts. She was special, you know. I think she had some sort of connection to the higher power that not everyone has. And this is simply off of what I've heard about her. So I always would picture, something that always brought me comfort was picturing my Grammy up in heaven sitting next to God or Jesus or Mary. You know, like, I would just always picture her there. Like, she was going to be the one that would greet me. She was going to be the one that was there. So I was like, that will be sick. Like, that's the one plus side. And also, the other plus side was, I was like, Elvis. Because as a kid, I was obsessed with Elvis. So I was like, Elvis is gonna be there, and I'm gonna meet Elvis. Now thinking about it, I don't know if Elvis is gonna be there. Didn't he, like, wasn't Priscilla, like, 16 when they got married? Like, I'm not sure if he's gonna be there. But as a child, I was like, okay, so I know that Grammy's gonna be there. I know that Elvis is gonna be there. Like, obviously God and whatever. And whoever dies before me. But, like, what are we gonna do? Like, it still feels... It feels restricting in the way that you are... It felt to me like it felt to me that in death, you are still heavily tied to your earthly body. And your earthly, I don't know, like your ego. And your experiences on Earth. Which, I mean, that's probably true. I don't know. But there's gotta be more than just this. And the ego. And this life that I lived, you know? I think... I don't know. I just hope that in death we all break away from the ego and we're all just everything and nothing. And conscious and unconscious of it all. And that's not what I thought as a child. I was like, okay, what the fuck are we gonna be doing up there? Like, playing foosball? Like, ping pong? Like, I just kind of... Because I didn't know what would we do? Like, I just pictured a bunch of people, like, in a, like, rec room, you know? Like, in a game room. And I was like, that... that just feels like real life. Like, I don't want that. I want something greater than that. I want an experience that I've never had before. And for some reason, my brain just made it seem very earthly. Because to me, that's what it felt like from what I was told. But yeah. Yeah. And I don't know why I would specifically be like, foosball. Like, I will be playing foosball with Elvis. Like, I fucking hate foosball. Like, but yeah, my brain would picture me and Grammy playing foosball with Elvis. Yeah. How can I tie this up very well? What have we talked about? We talked about a little bit of my Catholic upbringing. We talked about death, dying. What happens? We don't know. And that's okay. Because at some point we're all gonna die. And there's nothing we can do about it. And that's just the cold hard facts. And it's just part of the human experience, and that is comforting. that fact is comforting. And it is a fact that we will all die. And we all have to realize that at some point. But it confuses me when people are like, oh my god, I just realized that, like, I'm gonna die someday. It's like, no, you didn't just realize it, you just remembered. Like, we all know that we're gonna die. Like, don't we all know that? Or am I just, like, hyper aware of it because I was preached to at a very young age about my salvation and about what I have to do to ensure that I don't go to hell. And that was scary to learn as a young child. So yeah. And maybe I'm just jealous of the people who, you know, are like, no child is thinking about death. That are like, but it's like, yeah, we are. Like, that was my whole childhood, was thinking about death. And that's scary. But it doesn't have to be scary. I do, however, the thing that does scare me about death, because I'm not completely, like, cured from my fear of death, but one thing that does still scare me about death is, what if there's nothing? What if it just ends? What if when you die there's absolutely nothing? That's terrifying. But I do find comfort in other people's stories of near-death experiences, or experiences of people who have died and been brought back to life. Though I will say, as a child, being on my iPod Touch, watching YouTube videos all night, I would get down these, like, deep dives of people recounting their experiences with death. And there was this one guy that had died and he went to hell. And no pun intended, that reignited. Get it? Like fire. That reignited my fear of hell. And I was probably like 9 at the time. And it's not that I wasn't scared of hell before. It was just that I'd allowed myself to forget. And then I was like, oh my god, I could go to hell. But yeah. And I still, like, I can still picture, I remember so vividly watching that video, and I can picture my iPod screen with the video on it. I know what the guy looks like. I know, like, what the setting he was in doing this interview. Like, I can picture it so well. And that's how much of an impact it had on my psyche. Okay? But yeah, but then I'd watch, you know, interviews with that little boy, you know, that book, like, Heaven is for Real, about that little boy who died and then was resuscitated and then was like, Mom, did you have an Uncle John? And she's like, how do you know him? Yada. And he's like, I went to heaven, I saw Jesus, and, like, Uncle John was there, and he said, like, ask your mom about me. That gives me faith. And also there's this podcast episode, it's from the podcast The Duncan Trussell Family Hour, and it's an episode with Dr. Raymond Moody, which I highly suggest if you are similar to me and scared of death. The episode basically Dr. Raymond Moody has studied death, like near-death experiences or people's experiences with death and being brought back to life, and has interviewed hundreds of people all over about their experiences, and an overwhelming amount of people have detailed pretty much the exact same experience. You know, obviously catered to them, but still the same experience. And if that's something you're interested in watching, or listening to, highly suggest it. Maybe I'll link it down below if I can figure out how to do that. But it really is a wonderful episode that when I found it in, like, I think I found it like 4 years ago. Like, my sister listened to that podcast, and so I think I found it through her. But it brought a lot of comfort to my brain, and it could bring comfort to yours as well. And it's just really fucking cool. It's cool. I like to hear about that stuff. Even though it scared me. This stuff is still really cool to hear about. So yeah, I think I'll end it there. We're at like 45 minutes already. We're good. But yeah, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you watched this far, comment, I have to pee, because I do. And that's why I'm moving around so much, because I have to tinkle. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. You can leave some questions. I like some questions. Leave me some questions that you'd like to hear my thoughts on. And yeah, love you guys. See you next time. Bye. Oh no, how do I turn it off?